Hey guys, this video is on how to take apart and clean a Primus stove. Items you'll need: a 9mm wrench, Phillips screwdriver, just a small toothpick or flathead to pick out a gasket, some rubbing alcohol, small container, and some Kleenex. So let's get started. First, take out the 2 screws on either side of the stove. Alright, this stove is going to come apart in 3 pieces. First, the valve assembly and the orifice assembly is with it. So grab onto the black, just wiggle that out. So you got the valve assembly, just put that aside. Then it's the ignition assembly. Just, you gotta be careful to pull it straight out so you don't crack anything in there. Just carefully pull that out. It may be a little stiff. Just be careful with it. Put that down. Now you have the stove head and you're able to clean it out, rinse it. I'd suggest using rubbing alcohol. It'll help dissolve any gunk in it. Just put that aside for now. If the ignition is broken, there's not much you can do about that. Then the valve and orifice assembly. First we want to take out the valve. So we're going to back off the valve all the way out, going counterclockwise. Next we're going to take the 9mm wrench, spin that counterclockwise to take out the locking nut, and continue spinning the valve counterclockwise until it fully comes out. Then you got the valve in your hand. You got the valve tip, you got a gasket there. Hopefully that's all good to go. Then you just take some Kleenex and clean that off. Maybe dip the Kleenex in some rubbing alcohol to help get anything off. Then put that aside. Then with the orifice assembly, we want to take out the gasket on the bottom, right in there. It's a little tricky to get out, but we don't want to accidentally start degrading the rubber in it, so it's nice if we can take that out. Put the O-ring aside there. Now the orifice assembly, it's all metal, so you can just go ahead and put in a little container of rubbing alcohol. Shake that around. Let that soak for however long it may take. And what's good with rubbing alcohol, you don't have to worry about being poisonous or anything, so you can just grab it out. You don't have to wear gloves or anything. And just dry that off because it's not nice working with the wet objects. Put the gasket back in. Just make sure it's right at the bottom. Then take the valve, put that back in. Just make sure you don't cross feed it. Just screw that in nicely. And put the locking washer or locking nut in. Should screw in the same way. You may have to make sure the valve is in deep enough. Just take the 9mm wrench and give that a good crank. just to make sure the valve doesn't come all the way out, because there is a gasket in there. Then you can go ahead and fully close that and put that aside again. Take the stove head and the ignition, slide that back on. Take the orifice and valve assembly, slide that back in. Put the Phillips screws back in. And there you have it. You should have a fully operational stove again. Now, the initial time you turn it on, it'll burn a little orange. And that's just due to the alcohol and the new gas. But that should fade out quite immediately. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you have good luck with your stove.